qualifying items.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Yardley, Pennsylvania.
Wow, that is quite an opening. Fred, how are you? I think we have you here on one of these microphones.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I think we can hear you just fine.
You got them all on, so I got to be somewhere.
You got to be somewhere, of course. They're not marked accordingly, but we'll take it the way it is. All right, you're on this one right here.
Well,
okay.
Welcome, everybody.
How are you?
All right.
Good.
Good being on the air with you, Brooks.
It's been a while.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to talk, recap our Wide Open Wednesday show from last night. So we're going to do a full hour of Need for Speed. One tip that I will give you for under the hood, it's freaking cold outside, as we don't already know that. But it's tough on the...
We'll keep under the hood to keep warm, I think, if nothing else.
Bring your cars in for the night.
Yeah, I'd love to if I could.
The cars treat you better than some other people. So,
yes.
So, make sure your batteries are up. Everything else is good. Antifreeze is good because it's going to be down in the single digits next week. And
that's what Joe was saying earlier.
Stuff, if you have any kind of questionable antifreeze or questionable battery, we'll find out next week. So try to be proactive about it and give me a call.
When the calls come in, right? You'll know for sure.
Give me a call, 215-295-4931. Yell at Kelly, and then we'll get you on schedule. But for now, we're going to jump into Wide Open Wednesday, and we already have a caller on the line. So...
Okay, let's get to it.
What Joe says. So, what is going on? You're on.
Are we on?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Somebody. We are still having technical difficulties. Now we on?
We're on.
Hello.
Hey, there you go, Kate. All right. What's going on, Kate? Thanks for calling in, and we want to talk a little bit about what we talked about last night.
Sure, no problem. What is it? Where do you want me to start? We had an action-packed show last night.
Yeah, we had 6 callers, and evidently over the air it went out okay. It was mostly on our feeds.
Okay, well that's perfect.
Yeah, the social media feeds. So let's talk a little bit about what the upcoming races and everything that you and Davey Sammons talked about yesterday.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is the high point of our winter indoor season. So we've already finished off our first indoor race in Allentown the first week of January, and we're getting ready to move into our second race, which is in Atlantic City. But before that, we have the Motorsports Show, which will be happening next weekend, and the Wide Open Wednesday and Need for Speed will be on hand for the entire weekend. But for motorsports, this is a very exciting time because they are going to spend the entire weekend celebrating Ray Evernham's 50th anniversary in motorsports, which is obviously a pretty big deal. So throughout the entire weekend, there's going to be highlights on Ray and his career. So one of the exciting things is he's bringing some show cars. So he's going to have the number 19 Balma Farms Ford Probe Asphalt Modified that he drove, the 1975 IROC car driven by A.J. Foyt, 1994 VMAX Chevy Lumina, which was the Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior car. So those of us who were 90s, 90s into racing and NASCAR will always remember the Rainbow Warrior car.
Okay.
And then Erin Crocker, who happens to be Ray Evernham's wife, they will have her 2002 Maxim sprint car that she won her World of Outlaw sprint car race in, and she to this day is still the first woman to ever win a World of Outlaw sprint car race.
Nice.
She will also be on hand for the weekend and be part of a women in racing segment that they're going to have. And then the last car that he's going to have on hand is the 2010 Chevy Corvette built by Weaver Racing, and it's a Trans Am concept car.
Mm-hmm.
And this car Ray actually takes to the track himself from time to time. So
Nice.
Ray's going to be signing autographs throughout both days on Friday and Saturday. And also, Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, NASCAR driver Bill Elliott, is also going to be signing autographs on Saturday. In addition to that, they're going to have some special stage shows, and our very own Steve Post, who's one of our announcers for our indoor racing, and he is also an announcer for MRN. He will be the host for those. So on Friday, Ray, Bill, and Aaron are going to be joined on stage with Jay Signer, who was Ray's boss at IROC. And this segment's going to focus on Ray's legendary career in the national spotlight, including him being an employee at IROC, being Jeff Gordon's crew chief, a car owner, and Bill Elliott drove in the number 9 to victory in Indianapolis. Also, his involvement with sprint car racing with his wife and her advancement into NASCAR, and the recent development of the XRS series and the return of IROC. He's very excited about that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to motorsports. Really looking forward to this.
It's for those of you who haven't been there or have been there but haven't been there in a while. This is the year to come back. This is the year to come back and see what it's all about and walk around and see the cars and see the people. And we're going to have a huge showing of people there. And then on Saturday, they're going to focus on, which I'm excited about, and this is what a lot of people I think will remember Ray for as well, is especially around here, is his early career efforts as a driver in the asphalt modified competition. And he's actually going to be joined by some former competitors and multi-champions, including Gil Hearn, Charlie Kremer, Lenny Boyd, Jerry Cranmer, and Billy Pouch.
Nice.
Who will all share on-track moments when they competed against Evernham at Wall Stadium, New Egypt, and Flemington Fair.
I remember Ray at Flemington when I was there as a teenager running that. It was
exactly,
so cool.
And I think a lot of, again, some people that may not, we all obviously remember him from NASCAR and Jeff Gordon, right? But not everybody remembers where Ray started, which is right here in New Jersey in the local track. So we're excited to hear some of those stories about his competition then.
Yeah, really look forward to that. Because I remember my dad saying it was when Jeff Gordon first started, we went down to a couple NASCAR races in Dover, and was walking around, and he goes, "Oh man, that's Ray Evernham." I haven't seen him in years, so I don't know if they chatted or not, but it's like, wow, for him to see him from Flemington to go to Jeff Gordon's crew chief was amazing at the time to me.
Exactly, and that a lot of local people will remember him probably sometimes more from his early days, and to your point, being very excited to see someone from our town or our area, going into that national spotlight. So I think that it's great that we're going to take the opportunity not only to talk about his national spotlight, but also talk about his roots and where he came from. And I think that's a great pivot for the weekend. One of the seminars that's going to take place, I'm super excited about, is the Women in Racing seminar, and that's hosted by Mallory Cutts, who is also a contestant for the Miss Motorsports competition, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And she has a guest speaker of Aaron Crocker Evernham. This also happens to be the 20th anniversary of her Ward of Outlaw win. So she's going to talk about that, and she's going to share her journey as a woman in racing and answer some questions. But in that panel, they're including some additional women in racing, including personal friend of mine, Mare Stelfox, Morgan Rochelle Beeler, who was a former Miss Motorsports and a current 600 racer, as well as a new mom, so that's exciting. Nice. Denise Mangini from Fast Girls Apparel. If you haven't seen her stuff, feel free to look online. She's got some great racing apparel. And then Caitlin Beers, who is a former race car driver herself and also the pit crew member for her brother, Austin Beers. So that's pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. And then Erin's going to also speak with Steve Post she'll be on stage with him just doing some more Q&A. And then we're going to finish that whole session up at the end of the day, and there's going to be autographs from over 10 female drivers. So I'm really excited to see the interest and some focus on some of the female racers that are coming up. I know when I raced many moons ago, I was one of very few female racers, and Susan Kennedy was one of them. Tracy Appleby, a row cap, was another one. There weren't many of us.
Right.
And I love to see the evolution of how it's not just a, it still is, but it's not as much of a male-dominated sport, and the opportunities that some of the women are starting to get in racing. I mean, if you look, obviously, the Chili Bowl was this week, and there's a few female racers out there, Kaylee Bryson being one of them, Taylor Reamer is another. And now also with the driver diversity program that NASCAR has, starting to bring some highlights to women in racing there as well, as also including some diversity. So we have one of our local stars here, LeVar Scott, has been doing a phenomenal job in the diversity driver diversity program, and he's with Rev Racing. He was Rookie of the Year in 2024, and just recently did some testing for Daytona. So we have him, and then we have, I always forget her last name, Tony. I know is her first name, and she's also moving into that diversity group and doing very well. She did well in trucks, and there's a lot of things opportunities that are available that in years past may not have been. And I appreciate the fact that the Salmons family and motorsports are bringing that to the forefront. So I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting, and just from what you guys have filled me in on, because I haven't been there yet, and this is my first motorsports. I am blown away about how huge this is going to be, and how much fun it's going to be, and people should make an effort to get out there and see what goes on in the motorsports world and what's going on at our local tracks and what else is everything else that's going on around here. So so come on out to motorsports next week. It's Friday and Saturday. I had the flyer here, but now I guess I left it in my truck. So I was going to say the times are I think it was 2 to 7 or 2 to 9 on Friday and 10 to 7 on Saturday. I think that's what
right. And so the big exciting thing on Friday, just the last thing to mention too, is the motorsports, Miss Motorsports competition. So one of the things that I also like highlighting the women in racing is a lot of times it was back in the day it was the trophy girls, right?
Right.
And we still have that competition, and what I love, Jamie Simmons heads that off, who's Davey's wife, and she does a phenomenal job. But it's not just a beauty contest. For people that don't know, there's a whole panel that the women have to go throughout the whole day. There's a question and answer. Yes, there's a bikini competition, and there's a dress-up competition and all that. Mm-hmm. But Aqueduct, who's been the sponsor for the last few years, has done a phenomenal job, and they stepped up this year, and they increased the purse to $2,500 to win this competition, $750 for the first runner-up and $500 for the second runner-up. Mm-hmm. But they also added a $1,000 to win best swimwear, which is voted by the fans. So Friday night is usually a huge night. A lot of people come out after work, come down, and then they go and they support the Miss Motorsports competition, and obviously still walk around. But yes, it's a for those that are interested in motorsports, and it's not just dirt track or asphalt. Obviously NASCAR's there, sprint cars are there. There's all kinds of things to do. They have trailer sales, they have part sales. If you need new equipment, they have you can get your helmets, you can get new race suits, you can get fitted for a seat. Like all of that stuff is in one place. And it's a great place to go, and most of the time they have deals if you get it there while you're at the show. Nice. So Friday and Saturday, motorsports at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Oaks is really a good time to be there.
Yep, and it's going to be cold out, so it'll be nice and warm in the Expo Center. It's another added feature of coming to motorsports.
So then the next thing after motorsports we talked about was Atlantic City, which is January 3rd and February 1st. January 31st and February 1st. I'm tongue-tied today. And that will be TQ midgets, 600 dirt micros, champ carts, and slingshot. So we're pretty excited about that. Friday night, you'll have racing both nights. So Friday night is the Blackjack 21, where they have split qualifiers and 500 to win each. And then they have a 21-lap finale, which is $2,100 to win plus $1,500, which can bring up the purse to $3,600, which is pretty exciting. Saturday is the Gamblers Classic, standard format, heats, consies, and all that. It pays $5,000 to win with a bonus of $1,500, so $6,500 available for everyone.
Awesome.
What's even more exciting is that if you've been following along with our indoor series, Ironton Auto Body is our sponsor for Allentown, and they had a challenge that if you could win both races, that you would get an additional bonus. Well, no one won that. Ryan Flores came pretty close. He won on Friday, but did not win on Saturday. So now Ryan Flores, Andy Jankowski, and the Friday night winner will be eligible to win up to $10,000. So that's pretty exciting. That they're huge supporters. Yeah, they are huge supporters. I know we talked about it last night too. Like, these are not races that have big purses. So for some of these sponsors to step up to add additional money to those purses for these drivers has been great. One of the other things that we talked about too was the surface. And I want to do a shout out to the Salmons family, especially Davey, who has really taken to heart working on the surface and getting it to be multiple grooves, which has been just super exciting to watch and see over the years. I've been going and watching since it started back up, but I have been a member of the team, behind the scenes team, for the last 5 years, and I'll tell you, just to watch the effort that goes into it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they made those grooves. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because, I know just from dirt, there's different lines and stuff. But to have an indoor track, they have multiple grooves where you could do passing. I don't know how they set that track up. I mean, maybe we'll have a conversation one day. But if I run into Davey, we'll talk. Because I'm curious. I'm curious on how that works.
And every venue is different, right? Mm-hmm. So we have Allentown, which, is basically, there's an ice rink on there, and then they remove the ice rink, and there's concrete, and we race there, right? Same thing with Atlantic City. However, with Atlantic City, the parking garage is underneath of where we are, so you have a different temperature factor that you're dealing with, because if it's cold outside, it's cold in the garage. It makes it, it just makes it a little more difficult. And Davey's gotten really good at knowing, what to do and how to do. And they move the tires in and they move the tires out. And that's why we have multiple sessions of practice to just kind of work that in. They use some syrup that they use to help it along. Nice. And obviously then when we get to Trenton, and we'll talk about more of that in a couple of weeks, is, the dirt and how they do that. So, cool. But to be able to have, for those of us that went back in the day, and we had the Teddy Christophers and the Lou Saccone and Eric Rudolph, it was a bump and run. If you didn't, because it was a one lane track, and bump and run, and that's just what you did. Some people liked it, some people hated it. Not to say that some of that doesn't happen now, but Davey's given them the opportunity to be able to drive and to make passes and to move up and move down, and depending on where you're at. So
to actually race instead of just like pushing. Yeah,
exactly. Yep. So that's been pretty exciting. The champ carts are going to race for $1,500, and then Kevin Nobley has added a $1,000 bonus to the champ carts. So they're actually going to race for $2,500, which is just amazing. And the dirt cars are going to race for $1,500. And right now we're up to 16 cars entered for the dirt cars. We have 50 TQs, 40 slingshots, and 35 champ cars. We got a really good nice turnout so far, and entries are still being accepted, so those numbers could go up. And with these bonuses, it's great to have people. Mm-hmm. And one of the ones, for those that remember, we did lost one of our close friends who was a sprint car driver, but also was a member of our indoor team, Joey Kay. There is also a $1,000 last lap pass And we are making sure that it is a clean pass. We also have the cool down zone, which is a J.R. Mahalski sponsored cool down zone. Mm-hmm. We do not want one of the cool down zone incidents to lead to a last lap pass, so they will be taking a close eye at that.
Nice.
And then lastly, one of the other things that I think the Simmonses have done a great job of is, since COVID, obviously everyone's been a little leery about coming back out and going to different things. So what they've done is they've tried to make it's an event. It's not just a race; it's an event, so that you can bring the family. So we have Fan Fest before Saturday's race, where people can come down on the track and meet the drivers and see their cars. But also they have partnered with the Atlantic City Sports Commission, which is Visit Atlantic City, and the West at Caesars, which is formerly the Wild Wild West, that they are going to add a $1,500 bonus each night to the winner of the race, but they will get that bonus on stage at the West at midnight. Mm-hmm. So it's basically an official after party. They're calling it Race Hard, Play Hard. Super exciting. It was kind of like impromptu last year with Andy J, who got up on the stage with his trophy and kind of made it so they saw what an opportunity it was. So now they're making it like an official thing. So they're doing it at midnight, obviously, too, because we generally don't get done racing until 10:30, just depending on how things go. Okay. So I think that's super exciting. So if you're interested in attending, tickets are available at indoorautoracing.com or Ticketmaster. Hotel deals are going on now. Caesars, Bally's, Claridge, any of those are within walking distance to Boardwalk Hall, which is where the race will take place.
Maybe I will do that. I'm really thinking about doing that. I have to talk to the wife.
Yep. Listen, she can go shopping. She can go to the outlets while you're at the races.
Yeah, because she will not go to the race.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So,
she's not a lady racer.
I want to get Nancy. Give her the opportunity to win in this weekend deal. And the outlets are right there.
There you go.
So she could do that. She could gamble. Who
there
knows?
you go. No, she could do that. Yeah. So, all right.
So that's what we have coming up for motorsports. So I think it's motorsports and indoors. This is a big time for us. So.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. Thanks for filling us in, Kate. Kate is our co-host on Wide Open Wednesdays, and she's actually the brains behind the operation. So me and Nick are just the mouths. So more Nick, but
all right. So thanks a lot. You have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks for calling in and filling us in again, so everybody can get this. Can't have enough information on racing.
Nope, never.
All right. Thanks again, Kate.
Thanks, Fred.
All right. All right. I think we have Earl on the line. Do we have to take a break first?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, and then Earl, hang on. We'll get you right on.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3, serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1957. You can now listen to all your WBCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Now, how's that for timing, Fred? What do you think, huh?
Yeah.
All right, a special edition of Need for Speed today. Kind of switched it up on me today, but that's okay. That's all right.
You thought all morning about what to talk about with cars, and I did it.
I had it all worked out for you, questions, and oh boy, what are you going to do?
There you go.
But I think we have Earl on now.
Yeah, Earl. Okay. Earl can fill in the spots. Kate did a hell of a job filling us in. So, Earl, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, Fred. Hey, good morning, Brooke. Good to hear you on there.
Mm-hmm. Good to be here.
Yeah. All right. And, I like the way you started the show there, talking about the cold weather and check the batteries. That's always important. So,
yeah.
And as you mentioned, next week it's going to be a little bit colder, so great time to go to the motorsports show indoors, and check out all the action. It'll be nice and warm in there with plenty of racing atmosphere. So it'll be a great place to go.
I'm so looking forward to it. I keep saying it, and I'm looking forward to showing my car off a little bit up there too. So a little bit for me. We're going to have a nice booth up there, Wide Open Wednesday. So you'll see me, Nick, Kate, and Warren out there. Craig may
for the number 141.
Yep, when to see 141 will be sitting right there at our booth, and we'll be doing some interviews. I'm looking forward to all the action that's going on up there. you were telling us, for anything else that we might have missed, what else is going on up there at the motorsports? You're behind the scenes.
Kate really covered it well. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The motorsports show, and then of course the Atlantic City indoor race. One thing I want to mention too, with there's so much to do at the motorsports show, and this is more for the racers, the actual racers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But fans can definitely sit in on these.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 excellent seminars that take place, technical seminars, on Saturday at 12:45, first seminar of the day. And again, these are, once you get into the show for a very low admission price, everything is free. And these seminars are free. The first one is hosted by Jay Castamore, very familiar name. He's been a winning crew chief and tire specialist for a lot of modified teams. He probably has close to 800 wins in dirt modified racing. And he's going to do a seminar, again, beginning around 12:45 in our main seminar room, all about tire preparation. If you're a racer, he's going to talk about tire prep, choice, basically do's and don'ts, what compounds to use, discussion about Hoosier Tire versus American Racer, understanding tire wear. And matter of fact, Dustin Levernight, Dustin is from American Racer Tire, and he's going to actually join Jay Castamore, and they're going to talk about tire technology, basic maintenance for your race tires, not just during the season, but during the off season, like what compounds to use. So again, it's more for the racers, but we often say that fans in the show, they can just sit in and listen to, people like Jay and Dustin talk about tires, because the fans are sitting in the stands enjoying the races, and they can get kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what it's about. And then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, we're welcoming Joe Mooney. He was car chief last couple of years with Anthony Macri, one of the outstanding young sprint car drivers in central Pennsylvania. And Joe's going to be our special guest talking about sprint car racing, how he sets up a sprint car, how he does pre-race preparation in the race shop, what they do during the off-season, what they do on the road. He's also been a car chief for Brad Sweet's World of Outlaw sprint car team.
I remember that. He was a hell of a
Joe
one.
Mooney.
Yeah.
So he's going to give a presentation. Again, the fans are welcome to attend. And then for the local sportsman racers, the local crate drivers, we're welcoming Matt Jancic. He's an outstanding sportsman driver, more from New York State, but he's raced down here as well. And Matt is going to give a presentation from a racer side. Again, he's a driver owner, about how to set up your crate sportsman car. Again, car setup, preparation, even driving techniques. And what's neat about Matt's seminar, and he's a great guy, a great speaker, and again, a winning racer. This particular seminar, which is around 3:15 in the afternoon, it's geared for drivers in the sportsman division who have been racing a while, but also he welcomes new drivers, like, for example, young drivers and their families. They're moving out of, let's say, 4-cylinder racing or street stock, and they're getting into crate sportsman competition. And Matt has extended an invite to them to sit in, and if they have any questions, like, okay, now they're moving into crate sportsman racing, what do I do? And Matt's going to be there. He'll guide them through it, answer any questions. So that's a big part of our show over here, the seminars. And I think again, this is something that we always enjoy doing, free to the fans and the racers. So something to put on your checklist for the motorsports weekend.
Definitely.
And I know if you can break away from your booth, you can sit in as well, and especially with you having the new vintage car, you'll be enjoying sitting in on some of these.
Yeah, I definitely do, because since I bought that car, I've learned a lot about tires.
There you go.
And learning a lot about tires also brings up a lot more questions than answers I've been getting. So, I'll sit on that seminar for sure, and to have some of those experts giving me those information. And I think for the fans too, to get out there and experience some of the stuff that we do.
Exactly.
I think it would be like, if you're into it that much, even a little bit, you'll be hooked for racing. And it's like, I got out of it for a few years, even going to the track. And then the first time I went back to New Egypt, I was like, uh-oh, I'm back. So, and I love every minute of it. This is a nice add to my life, and I think it would be a nice add to the fans to get out and see a few races this year, whether it's Wall or New Egypt or Bridgeport or any of the tracks around here. I think, get some fans out there, in the seats. I think it's going to be great.
And coming to the motorsports show, that really gets the enthusiasm up.
Yeah.
We do this. We see it every year. It's like a big reunion. It really is, because the racing season pretty much ended in November with Wall Stadium's Turkey Derby, and the dirt track season, in New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, kind of wound up in October. And after the holidays, everybody's saying, "Boy, when's racing going to get going again?" And you come to the motorsports show, and then the Atlantic City indoor race the week after. It really gets you going again, and it's a great way to kind of shake off the winter doldrums. That's for sure.
Yeah, I look at my car every day in the garage, and I sit on the tire, and I'm just like, "Soon, baby, soon we'll be out on the track." So I'm really looking forward to it.
Too. Hearing Kate talking about different things to do and see at the motorsports show, and she mentioned, of course, Ray Everham. We're honoring him next weekend for his 50 years racing in New Jersey. That's where it actually started in his whole career. Ray was actually 1977 modern stock champion, actually 1973 modern stock champion of Wall Stadium in the old modern stock division, the full fender cars. They kind of preceded the street stocks and the late models. And that's where he kind of got his start racing there, and also at New Egypt when it was a quarter-mile paved track. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And one of the cars that Kate mentioned is going to be in the show is that number 19 Ford Probe Asphalt Modified.
Those words don't go together. Ford Probe and racing.
They won at Wall Stadium.
I know.
1991.
Yeah, Ford Probe on the outside world here is like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
They barely got from point A to point B.
If it has a winning modified, beautiful race car.
Yeah, it's like the Gremlins.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as cars go, they made nice race cars. So, but yeah, this is going to be good. We're up against a break again, Earl. So he cut you short.
Continue to listen. Keep up the great work, and hey, we'll talk to you next Wednesday, and then we'll see you at the show.
All right, I'll talk to you in the meantime. All right.
All right, gentlemen, take care.
Thanks, Earl. All right.
Yeah, break time?
Yeah, we're going to take a little break, and then we got another caller on the line.
We do. It's a busy morning.
All right, I love it.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so bad to the point where he had to end up in the emergency room. And he has spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy to tell people not to smoke around your kids.
4 out of 10 U.S. kids are exposed to secondhand smoke. If you or someone you know wants free help to quit smoking, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
You're in tune to WBCB, a special edition of Need for Speed. And Fred, somebody calling himself a partner in crime?
Yeah, this is going to be
You know this guy or what?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, what's going on there, man? Are you warm? Because I'm freezing.
I'm warm. I'm nice and warm in the studio.
And not Stuart freezing either. But anyhow, I'm kind of warm. My boss gives me good equipment, so I'm nice and warm. But Kate's done a great job. I guess I'm out of a job now.
Yeah, yeah, you're out. So no,
all right,
we
I'm
can't.
Sorry.
We
I'll
can't.
do behind the scenes stuff.
No, we can't do the show without you, buddy.
we got a great team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, between her and Warren and what she does behind the scenes, you know what? If I owned a racetrack, Warren would be the flag, and she would run the office, and you would be a tech guy or something like that. We would have a blast. We're going to have a blast. I mean, when we go to motorsports, Fred, we're going there the first time. It's going to be an eye-opening experience. And when we go to Trenton and watch the Trenton race, and if we go to Atlantic City, whatever we do, I mean, we're starting to get into it now. We're going to have a blast. We got a lot of followers. Yeah. I guess we could tell tell the fans that we're probably going to do a impromptu Facebook Live Saturday from the studio again.
Yes. Yep.
And we're going to try a couple different things. But, yeah, I'm sorry that we didn't have no audio for the callers, but I guess some people were listening.
Yeah.
And a lot of people heard what we did last night, so
yeah,
it was
I think,
a really great show. It's a shame.
Yeah, we had like 6 callers and all top-notch, guests. I think what happened was on the radio, over the radio waves, it was fine. I think on the feed, something was up. So yeah, Max gave me the thumbs up. So yeah, that was the issue. So yeah, so for anybody that missed us last night, hopefully you're online today because everything's up and running. You can catch up on what we talked about yesterday, just a little bit. I can't even scratch the surface of all the guests and stuff and the great guests that we had, but we're going to try to get the information out as well. Or anyway.
Well, we had Davey Salmons and we have Paulie Hartwig and
Tommy Lane.
He won at Allentown.
Yeah.
Tommy Lane, we had Tommy. We could get them back. They're very accessible.
Yeah.
Just tell Matty he owes us a free hour. That's all. We can make up for that.
Well, he held up a different finger this time, so not the thumbs up. That's what we love.
But no, I mean, we're going to go to these shows and do what we need to do for Wide Open Wednesday.
Yeah.
We want to do everything we can for WBCB.
Absolutely.
We want to grow the radio station and get them some sponsors and do what we do. I mean, I can't thank you enough, Fred, for everything that you've done for me. And there's going to be big things in 2025 for all of us. I mean, we're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm really glad I'm jumping in both feet with this, with the racing and the motorsports, and me getting the car and running, and then being involved with you and stuff in New Egypt, and all the tracks around here, and getting to meet Earl and all the people and Mark, coming back into our lives, and it's
we got to
just
get
great.
a hold of Doug Rose.
Yeah.
I got to get Doug to get us some schedules so we can put them at our booth and get some schedules from New Egypt, and if Wall has schedules, we want to get their schedules and stuff. That way, we can put stuff out for people and let them be able to put their stuff in our booth, so we can give it out to people. Because Fred's going to be running his vintage car, and we're going to try and make him famous. But Fred, you went from going to the track once in a while to being fully involved. I mean, I don't know if you anticipated getting this fully involved. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that we were going to get accepted as well as we have with Wide Open Wednesday and everything that's going on. But every time I look at our web pages and our Facebook pages and stuff, we get a lot of responses from a lot of people, and the race season hasn't even started yet. Yeah,
the acceptance of it is really jazzed me up, because I got into it to just get the information out there, and hopefully people bit into it, and they did, 10 times more than I even thought. So the more that we do this, the more that we're accepted, the more excited I get, the more into it I am, and I know you are as well. And I know Kate is as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kate's just, she'll do whatever we need. And she gives us the perspective, that we need, the behind-the-scenes stuff, because without what she does, we would just be winging it, and she makes us look more professional. And then when Warren comes in and gives us his wisdom, that kind of helps too. And we got a lot of people that want to get on board. We just got to make the time. I mean, you have a business that you run during the week, and I know you would love to be able to work on this kind of stuff all week long, but you got to pay the bills.
I got to pay the bills.
I got to drive a dump truck. I got to pay the bills. I got to drive a dump truck to pay the bills. So I may not be at Motorsports on Friday, but I'll definitely be there on Saturday. But I mean, I think 2025 and us getting the access to all the right people, I think we're going to have a lot of things happening, not only at WBCB, but at Wide Open Wednesday and everything else that we do.
Yeah, and I think we could take it farther than 2025, just from what I'm seeing now. So I'm in for it. So.
Yeah, people want to hear that stuff. People want to hear the nostalgia stuff. That's why we're bringing her on board. We're going to do what he does, and we get Ariel the Racing News involved. We get Lenny and Davey and Danny involved. And it was nice to have Davey on. I watched some race quarter midgets, and he's really come along. They've done a great job with the indoor stuff, and I'm glad that we can support them and they can support us. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Fred.
supporting Ariel Racing News. I got my Ariel Racing News right here with me, just in case I needed some more information. But you guys have filled me in. So, but I want racing to be great for all of us, and I'm glad that we're the catalyst of at least this end.
Well, there's no reason why, we can't do that and get the word out for all the tracks. We want to try and mingle in with Big Diamond. Yep. We had their race director on with us. And, we're going to talk to Jeff Adam, who's going to fill us in on all the Grandview stuff. And,
and Billy always gives us on Maple Grove. And
Now that they know that we're for real, Fred, we're probably going to have a lot of people wanting to come on Wide Open Wednesday. So, get ready. We may have to up our game a little bit.
Okay, I'm ready.
I know you're ready. You're always ready. So, but I appreciate what you do. The fans appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you stepping up to the plate, Fred. It means a lot.
All right, cool.
All right, brother.
Right. Thanks, Neil.
Thanks,
Nick.
I'll talk to you later.
Go back to driving the truck.
All right, brother.
All right. All right, that's my partner in crime and my co-host for Wide Open Wednesday, Nick Leach. Everybody knows Nick from he was the announcer at New Egypt for a lot of years. His brother Johnny drove and was champion at East Windsor. The whole Leach family has been involved in racing for many, many generations. And I'm so glad and honored to have Nick with me and to do this. So,
yeah, that Bridgeport you mentioned, is that the one in Montgomery County?
No, this is in South Jersey.
South Jersey, okay.
Down near Swedesboro and down that way.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's about an hour ride. It's a nice track. I love that track.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of hard racing, high banks. Yeah, you can really get on it. I might take my car down there at the end of the year. See how I'm going to do New Egypt first. They got 6 races scheduled at New Egypt for vintage cars, and they got 2 down at Bridgeport.
Now, which car are you talking about now?
My race car.
Okay.
I bought a race car over the last few months.
Okay.
It's an old modified coupe, 36 Chevy. But it's got all upgraded engine and suspension and stuff in there, and I joined the vintage club with Nick Marco and a couple of the guys down at New Egypt, and we're not actually racing. It's more of an exhibition.
Yeah,
because we don't want to wreck our cars.
I can understand that. Yeah,
if I wanted to wreck cars and spend a lot of money, I'd get into the modifieds and the sportsmans. But I'm too old for that. I just turned 6. I'll be 61. I don't heal as fast as I used to. So
yes,
and all the guys in the vintage club pretty much have the same mind thought. So it's like, we're going to get out there, we're going to run hard, but we're going to stay away from each other.
That's it. Well, you show the cars too. I mean, you get to kind of poke around, lift the hood up, and kind of peek inside and what have you.
Look inside. I had mine all lettered up by Bruce Bowen, who's been a letterer for a lot of cars for a lot of years. Mine is all hand painted. And
okay, I haven't been at the shop in a couple of months, but is it on site?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep it in the garage. I push it out in the morning because it's easier to push it out than for me to get my fat butt in and out of it right now. I just bought a new seat, so this Saturday I'm going to put it in.
Okay.
And I got a couple of things I want to do to it before Motorsports, because I'm going to show it up at Motorsports.
Okay.
And it's a really pretty car. I love it.
What about the Bucket T?
I still have that. That's my
okay.
That's my show car.
Okay.
And that's my ones I take to car shows and drive around here sometimes when the weather's nice. It's way too cold down.
Yeah. I mean, would you ever actually, I don't want to say race it, but I mean, have you ever actually run it in terms of on a strip?
No, it's too light. To me, it's too light of a car. I know guys back in the day used to do that stuff. It's too light of a car. The front end comes off the ground when you get, because I've taken it up to speed on the highway.
Yeah.
I actually saw the front wheels coming up.
You could feel the lift.
Like, whoa, wait a minute. No, this isn't for me.
So, yeah,
I can't imagine taking it down the strip at 100-some miles an hour.
Okay. I mean, what do you feel comfortable with in terms of top speed in it?
In that car?
Yeah.
Probably about 60.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, when I have the roof on it, it acts like a sail or an umbrella.
Yeah.
Or a parachute.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it actually picks the car up off the ground if you go up over 60. So.
And no Model T Ford was actually harmed.
Yeah. No.
Because it's a fiberglass body, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
it's all it was a kit car my dad redid, and I'm glad to have it. I'm honored that he gave it to me.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I've seen that a couple of times.
Yeah. When the weather breaks, you'll see it a lot more.
Excellent. So, did you want to take a break, or you have another caller?
One more caller.
Okay. How about a quick break, and then we'll
take a quick one and come right back.
Okay, sounds great, Fred.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
All right, 13 away from 10 o'clock, a special edition of Need for Speed. And caller, you're on.
All right. Hey, Fred, how you doing?
All right.
Yeah, it's Nick Marco.
Hey, speaking of Nick Marco, there he is.
I think we just were, weren't we? Yeah.
What's happening, Nick?
Not a whole lot. That show last night was great. A lot of good stuff on there. And little Paulie Hartwig, I didn't realize he was only 13.
Yeah.
He's got a good future ahead of him.
Oh, yeah.
And Tommy Lane, I go back with him back in the 90s. I raced go-karts at Flemington, and Ace Lane was running that, and Tommy was a junior, and little John was out there too. So it's good that, Tommy stayed in it and following his steps. So, but Kate was talking about some females that are out there, and that are paving the way for female drivers, and some names that come to light: Lynn St. James, Janet Guthrie,
right,
Natalie Decker, Haley Deegan, Tony Breitinger, Danica Patrick. Everybody knows Danica. Sarah Fisher at Indy, Amber Beacon. Another one that's coming up. A little girl named Annie Rule. She's from Pittsburgh. I mean, she's little as far as size, but she's a tremendous shifter go-kart racer, and she has a bright future ahead of her in karting and sports cars, and who knows what else.
Yeah, we're playing in an episode of Leadfoot Ladies of Racing. So, we'll have to see, maybe we can get a hold of her and get her to interview with us on
All right. That sounds. So. And then some of the local greats that you were talking about, the biggest one was a local hero, then a state hero, then national, then international. Mario Andretti, the greatest driver ever. Wally Dallenbach, he raced at Wall.
Yep.
He's from New Brunswick. Of course, Ray Evernham, Frankie Kerr raced sprint cars, and then he was the crew chief. I forget whose team he crew chiefed on, but he made it up the ladder pretty well. Andy Belmont, local guy. You bought your car from him.
Yeah, I bought my car from Andy. So yeah.
And he raced now. He started out at Flemington in the rookies, and just got bigger and better, and still very much alive and racing.
Yep.
Then there's another great. A guy from Fairless Hills named Fred Fletcher.
Yeah, okay. Not yet. Well, thank you for that, though, Nick.
But I think your fan base is really growing. I mean, this Wide Open Wednesday and the stuff you do on Saturday, on Thursdays rather. And then you have so much positive energy. It's going to be great to have you out there running with the vintage cars with us.
Oh yeah,
and,
I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's going to be great to have you out there, and it's good to call in and talk to you guys every now and then. So
awesome.
Nick Leach is doing a fantastic job, and so I'm just going to commend you guys on that, on what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. And one day we'll have to get you in here, and or Saturday if you want to come over and sit over with Nick and I. We're going to be across the street from you in our studio, in our video studio, around 2 o'clock.
Right.
So yeah, we'll jump with, because we're going to do a Facebook Live too, and we'd love to have you on there as well.
All right, that sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right, Nick. Well, thanks for the call.
Right.
And we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit, but I got a couple of announcements to touch over before I go.
All right, very good. Thank you, and talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, well, that's going to be fun, having Nick on with thing, because he's the one running the vintage cars down the club down in New Egypt.
Aha,
so,
okay.
We got to be friends. He lives here in Langhorne.
Now, that was always a popular part of the state for racing and what have you. Yeah, New Egypt.
Yeah, New Egypt has been around forever.
Yep.
Plus the other ones have dwindled down over the years. Flemington closed up in 2000. I think New East Windsor closed up in 2002. They were our home tracks when my dad was working on cars.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran a couple times, but he mostly was wrenching and helping out people, and like Billy Osmond, and he helped out his buddy Bill Gandy when they had their car, and they ran for a couple of years. I think they alternated back and forth, but my dad was mainly the wrench. And then a lot of people know Kerry Schloter, who's a Fairless Hills native. My dad got to be friends with him in the mid-'70s and wrenched his car. I was his crew chief for a few years, and then we all moved up to outside of Scranton, and then ran the New York circuit in East Pennsylvania.
Yeah, what causes a track to close down, Fred? Is it a sport that kind of has its highs and lows?
I think so. The 70s, and I'm going to say between the late 50s and the early 80s was a big high point. So that's a long time, but I think there was fans dwindling over the needs. I think people change, and some of the older guys were either dying off or retiring. Yeah, and so then that's why we're here now, trying to get the young kids too, young people to get involved and get interested in the sport. And that's like Nick was saying, Paulie Hartwig, he didn't realize he was only 13, and a couple of the guys are 15, and we're trying to get that excitement back and get some fans that normally weren't involved or thinking about racing getting into the.
It's all about passing the torch on.
Yes.
And getting kids interested and young people excited again.
Yeah, and I think if they if they go to a race, they'll see the same things that like Nick and I grew up basically in the pits at Flemington. My dad was always wrenching, and I was hanging out in the infield.
Well, I've heard you talk about that in prior shows. Yeah. And there was an age limit in terms of
we couldn't go in
where you could not go. Yeah.
So we stayed in the infield. We sat on Dad's truck and playing around in there. The Scarpattis and I. Now Johnny's running now, but. We want to get the kids involved or interested and coming out and seeing how exciting it is, how much fun it is, and get that bug that we had, and because it really is, it's fulfilling.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. And speaking of my dad, I want to give a shout out because I'm pretty sure he's listening. Give him a shout out because he was feeling under the weather last week. So hoping you get better, Dad, and come on out and watch me run in May. May 10th, and also another. We lost a big king of dirt track, Ken Bren Sr. this week. He was 90-something years old. I'm going to say 93 or 94. Wow. But I remember as a kid going through, because his son drove too, Ken Bren Jr., who we lost a few years ago to cancer. But Mr. Bren was like the pope of the pits. Wherever he was, it was like, that's where you needed to be. And he's just like, he had such a presence in the pits, and they had the prettiest cars. The prettiest cars, the yellow and red 27s, 24. Plosky was 27. Stan Plosky did drive the 24, but Bren's always had the nicest cars, and they were great people, and so our heart goes out to the Bren family as well. So so I wouldn't let this racing show go without giving note to him and my dad.
Good.
Hopefully my dad gets out here and watches me, and he's feeling better now, and so.
Did you have any announcements or
I wanted
a couple of things you wanted to do a rundown on?
Well, Wide Open Wednesday, we cover pretty much everything with the callers. But as far as sponsorships goes, for this show, this show here, and for the radio station and whatever we're doing, we came up with these sponsorship opportunities for Wide Open Wednesday. So I have the things there. We have a lot of different levels of sponsorships where we include the radio station, and we also tie into our social medias, and we have some print stuff going out. So contact us. You can reach us at wideopenwednesday24@gmail.com, and or you can call me on my cell phone 267-549-5708, or you can always stop by my garage at Fletcher's Garage over in the corner of Hood and South Olds Boulevards and Fairless Hills, and we can talk because I have all the flyers right here. And we were talking, Nick and Mark and Nick Marco and Nick Leach. We were talking about how popular this show has become, and how many followers we have, and any advertisers that want to join with us, because we're growing from here. I'm covering a lot of it right now, and it's increased my business. So to me, it's not an expense; it's an investment. So, but I don't want to do it all myself. I want to bring some people along with us. So if you're a business owner or a track sponsor or whatever, let me know, and we can advertise with us. We have all kinds of flexible options, and with different pay scales, or advertising scales. So just let us know.
Do you guys have a website at all? Have you got?
Kate's working on our Wide Open Wednesday one. Right now we're pretty much on Facebook and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, which is really, really popular too.
And to get to that channel,
it's YouTube, and then just go to Wide Open Wednesday or WBCB because we linked it together.
Okay,
so
great,
you can go into the WBCB 1490 YouTube channel, and then you'll see all our episodes here. You'll see this episode on here. You'll see last night's episodes and everything that we do from there. So we can also advertise on that as well.
Excellent.
Excellent. There's a lot of ways to go.
Very good.
We want to take you with us on this journey.
Yes. Kind of take you for a ride, but in a good way.
Right. It's a fun ride.
A fun ride, yeah. So all righty. So we're good to go?
Yeah, we're all good to go. I appreciate everybody sticking with us for the Need for Speed Hour here. And instead, if you were looking for Under the Hood, we'll be back next week.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
And I'll be cold.
Okay. I think we're all going to be cold, Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Fletcher,